What is up, Motorfest racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut. I'm here today with the Honda Civic Type R shootout. We got 3 Civics to review, test, and tune today. I've got them all set up for you. We're going to compare the data. We'll see which one's the fastest, give you guys a recommendation so that way you're cruising around in the street tier 1 with the best Civic that you can get in the garage. I've never done a video like this, so bear with me. It's kind of a new format. I'm going to give you the build for each car. I'm then going to run laps in each car, and then at the end I'll show you screenshots of how they did on the track and their fastest lap times, and then give you kind of a little bit of a final review and give you my recommendations. So let's dig into it. Let me show you what we got. We are going to start with the Civic Type R Fitted Edition. This is the one that you got if you pre-ordered. So some of you guys out there might not have this one. If you don't, I apologize, but a lot of us do, and so it's going to be fun to compare them. We started the customization. There's nothing you can do on this, you guys. Vanity items only, so just make sure you're throwing a set of vanity tires on there and getting those wheels as far away from the body as you can and get that going. Alright, for the pro settings, you're going to run final drive all the way long, so that way you've got the best drafting top speed in the grand race. Grip is 100% both front and rear. Brake balance is 79% to the front, so almost full Beyonce to the left, but we back it off one, so it's 79%. Brake power 100% as we do. Aero is 100% in the front, so you're keeping it 0. And then load in the rear, you're going to back it off just a skosh, so you're going to go -5% in the rear. That allows the car to rotate just a skosh, and it really does help it corner quite a lot. Springs, you're going to stiffen this thing up all the way, so you're plus 10% in the front and plus 10% in the rear. For damper compression, you're going to soften up the front a lot, so you're going to go -15% in the front, and then you're going to go plus 5% stiff in the rear, so make sure you add a little bit there in the rear. It just kind of sets the car up for success. For the rebound, we took a lot of rebound out of the front, so -9% in the front, and then we're going to go plus 10% in the rear. You're going to add a lot of rebound to the back of the car. For the ARB, which is the anti-roll bars, we are plus 10% stiff in the front and plus 10% stiff in the rear. And then for the camber, we are full Beyonce on this one, so to the left, 0.25% both front and rear. SakuraCommander set this one up for it. It is sturdy. This car is fast. If you've got this one already, throw this tune on it. You're going to like it. I guarantee it. I love it. Stay tuned. Let me show you the tunes for the other cars, or if you want to skip ahead and see the results, that's fine too, but help me out. Maybe stay tuned. But definitely shout out to my guys for helping me with this one. This is going to be cool. Let's dip in to the 2021 model. Stock for us is the Civic Type R 2021 model. It is the stock edition. For the customization, there is a lot you can do on this one, so make sure that if you do grab this, you go get a Surfy wrap. He's got one out there. We're rocking Kirby. Lots of people have downloaded it. It's pretty sweet, so shout out to my man Surfy. And then for visual parts, you can do all kinds of stuff. Hoods, front bumper. Make sure that you throw on those wide body front fenders. Pull those wheels out as far away from the body as you can to get a little bit more stability. And then same on the back. Make sure you throw those on there. Otherwise, tailor it to your preference. All right, let's dig into the pro settings. Once again, SakuraCommander set all these cars up. It is awesome to have him. He's such an asset to the crew, so big shout out to him. Appreciate you. Final drive all the way long. That way you get the most top speed out of the car. Grip is 100% in the front, and then -2% in the rear, so we don't have to get quite as slippy as we did with the fitted. Brake balance, you're going to fade it to the front, but there is a difference here from the fitted. You're only going 72% to the front, so make sure you're there. Brake balance or brake power 100%. And then load, we are 100% in the front, and then you're going to take a little bit of load out of the rear end of the car. You're going to go -8% on the back end. Suspension, you are plus 2% stiff in the front, and you're plus 4% stiff in the rear. These are very different cars, so make sure if you have this one versus the fitted that you do this tune, because it does change it. You can't do the same tune on both. I mean, you can, but it's not the same car. Damper compression, you're going to go -16% soft in the front, and then you're going to go -10% soft in the rear. So make sure that you just soften up that compression a lot because it needs it. For the rebound, you're going to stiffen it up a little bit. So you're going to go plus 11% stiffness in the front and plus 16% in the rear. ARB, we are plus 10 front and rear. And we're full Beyonce on that camber. We're to the left, 0.25% on both. That's going to give you the Honda Civic Type R 2021. It's pretty solid. There are some differences between it and the fitted, as you can see just from the tunes alone. Stay tuned for the gameplay. We'll see how they stack up. Let me show you what the 2016 model looks like now. 2016 model. Make sure that if you guys are customizing this car with visual parts, throw the wide fenders on the front don't matter. They don't move the wheels at all. So you can do whatever your preference is on how you like that to look. But fenders in the rear do bring those tires out quite a lot. There's really no nice way for me to get out from there, but you can see those tires are jumping a huge portion. So make sure you throw the wide fenders in the back. Bring out those rims and wheels as far away from the body as we can get, so it adds that stability. And then throw a set of vanity tires on there to make sure that we're bringing those wheels out in addition to the wide body kit. All right, pro settings on this one. Final drive all the way long. 100% grip front and rear. Brake balance, you are going to fade it to the front, but it's the least of all the cars we've done today, so it's 71% to the front. Brake power is all the way up, as we always do. Load arrow is 100% both front and rear, so we're not taking anything out there. For the suspension, you will stiffen it up, so it's plus 6% in the front, plus 7% in the rear. For the damper compression, you're going to go plus 14% in the front and plus 16% in the rear. This car was really soft, so we did have to stiffen it up quite a lot. We go to the rebound, it's plus 14% in the front and plus 16% in the rear, pretty much paralleling what the damper compression did. So rebound and compression is pretty much same. ARB, we're plus 10, both front and rear. Stiffen that one up. And then for your camber, you're going to go negative 0.25%, both front and rear. Full Beyonce on that one as well. That sets up the 2016 Civic Type R. No spoilers, those will be at the end. Let me show you how these cars do around the track, and then we'll dig into the final information for all. Here we are on the test track, creating a legend. We're in the 21 Civic Type R, non-fitted, as you can tell by the graphic on the side. Surfy got the Kirby on this one. Shout out to our man Surfy Raps. He does a lot of really cool raps, and I think this is a really special one for this car. See if we can glance off that BMW like we do. Try to keep these laps consistent. I just got done running the fitted. I'm not sure what order I'm going to put these in the video, but overall they are pretty consistent as far as the cars goes. The 16's a lot further off than both of these are. Okay, cool. We hit that really well. It's very important that I get the same line with each of these cars through there, so that way our lap times don't deviate from a line or performance standpoint. They just deviate from what the car can do itself as far as handling and turn in and stuff like that. So overall, it feels really good. Get out of the throttle just for a second there so it turns in. This one doesn't feel quite as rowdy as the fitted. The fitted feels a little looser when you get up on those curves. So I think this one feels a little more planted, which is pretty nice. There it is. There's that looseness. Slid just a little bit there. Not much. Alright. Set up our apex for this corner. It did drift a little bit. We're going to lose a little time there, but I don't think it's going to be too detrimental to our overall performance. It'll be interesting to see how these two cars do in a side-by-side comparison when it comes to the lap times. And I shoot these 2 or 3, 4 or 5, however many times it takes in a shootout to get consistent laps to where I feel like I'm taking the same line, where I feel like I'm getting very similar performance out of me, so that way I can eliminate myself as much as a variable as possible. And I feel like right now we are on a very similar line to what we did in the fitted edition, so I'm happy with that. We're on a pretty clean second lap here. We'll see how we do. It's nice that we're shaking up the street tier 1 class, because there's a lot of people just kind of running the same old. And so if we can get a little bit different options in there for you guys, be able to change up what your garage looks like in that race, that'll be pretty cool. Fitted might accelerate just a skosh harder. Our line's better through here on the second lap, I can tell that for sure. I think we got one good section of that on the fitted edition as well. I'm excited to compare these out together. Because if they're super similar on lap time, we know that there's really no difference between the two. But if there's a big difference between them, we'll have that exposed. That's going to be a 242.1. So not too bad. We'll compare it to the fitted at the end of the video. We'll see how these two cars shake up. Let's see how the 2016 does. All right, here we are on the test track. We got the 2016 Civic. Same parts as all the other cars we're testing today. Keeping it very consistent as much of the science and settings that I can do. Obviously, each car is set up separately, and we're giving you what we think is the best setup for each car. With the other Type R's, I was in front of that BMW right now, so they might have a little more acceleration, a little more grunt out of the corners. We shouldn't have too much of a problem passing them here. We are able to. I feel like the gear ratios are a little tighter on this car. Like we can just, we're getting into 6th gear a little sooner. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm trying to keep it as consistent for you guys as I can, so that way we can give a real, a real answer at the end of this. Now there might be a couple tenths here and there difference, and if they're only a couple tenths off when I'm giving my best effort and giving real laps, that means they're pretty similar. But if there's one that's 2 or 3 seconds faster than one of the other ones, that'll give us an idea of where they do stack up. It seems to be flowing pretty good. It's not quite as rowdy as the 21 model R's. Getting on the curbing there threw us for a little bit of a loop, and we lost a little time because we slid, but probably not much. A couple of tenths at the most. Yeah, usually I'm in 6th gear and I'm grabbing a gear. So maybe the gears aren't as long. Maybe it just doesn't have as much power to get us there as soon as it does. But it doesn't feel too bad. It'll really come down to like, what's its red line, what's its draft look like in the Grand Race. And unfortunately, with it being a shootout, I'm not doing Grand Race footage for you guys. And even if I did, it would be really hard to get into a scenario in the Grand Race where I could be drafting someone to really see what the car does, because sometimes I'm way out front, sometimes I'm needing to catch up, but you're maybe not able to get that draft consistently in the straightaway. Sometimes the Grand Race doesn't give us a straightaway where we can see what the draft speed is. And that's why I'm going to start leaning away a little bit from running the Grand Race footage. It lengthens the video a lot, which, according to my analytics, most of you guys don't watch and stay around for that. So if you are one of the people that does like watching the Grand Race footage, let me know in the comments. I will try to maybe make some separate videos of just fun Grand Races and stuff like that, or just tune into streams and Grand Race with me. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make content that you guys want to consume, that I'm happy with as far as the quality goes, and you guys are happy with as far as the consumption goes. So this 2016 is discernibly slower with this setup. We just did a 245.2, so we're running a little sluggish. I think we could have been in the 244s pretty smooth, but there definitely wasn't a lot there. So we're gonna leave that one for what it is. Let's see how the fitted edition does. All right, Civic Type R fitted edition. Let's see how it does. It feels like it's pulling a little harder in this opening line. I definitely will say that both the 21s, the fitted and the regular 21 Civic Type R, accelerated harder than the 16 did. So that's something to take note of, especially for Grand Race. If we're starting in Street Tier 1, you want something that's going to launch. And so this felt like it had a pretty good launch. And that's why I run the hardest difficulty AIs, because I want to get an idea of kind of what a Grand Race would be. I feel like the AIs aren't sleeping off the start, whereas if you set them down to easy, they don't do anything. Feels like it handles pretty good. I think this is the rowdiest one of all of them. That's not a bad thing. It just means you're going to have to work with that and work against it, so to speak. Just a little blip off the throttle there for turn in. Downshift to 4th, come through here. Curbs aren't upsetting it too much, but I wasn't getting too crazy on that curb either. Yeah, the gear ratios in this one, it almost wants us to catch 5th there, but we don't. So that's a little different from the other Civic Type R. These are very different cars, even though they're the same skin. So it's kind of cool that the developers have given us a carrot in the sense that, like, hey, here, if you pre-ordered a car, here's actually a different car than what the other one is. And so that's pretty sweet. I'll be interested to do more testing on other vehicles that are the same, you know, like Peppermint Edition or whatever edition of the car, to see if that's a big change. See if we can get our same line through here. Pretty close. Getting to run it wide open. The fitted I feel like I can put the fitted in better areas than where I was the other cars. Like my turn in, I have more confidence. The cornering angle that it gets feels a little better. For some reason, it just feels a little more nimble out of the box. And then with SakuraCommander's tunes on here, we're just out here doing it totally different, right? He is such an asset to the crew. It is a pleasure to have him. Right there, I can go full bore. I didn't even have to let off, whereas in the other cars, I was having to let out of the throttle to turn in. I'm feeling like we're on a pretty good set of laps here. It'll be interesting to see where we finally end up. Don't hit the back of that car. Yeah, dude. Last corner, let's not botch it. We've got 2 other really good laps to show for it. Sweet. Alright, that is going to be a 240.3. So the fitted edition got us around the track a little faster than the others. I think it is the best. It feels the best. We'll take a look at all the lap times and see what's best. I have our times before us. We've got the fitted, the stock 2021, and then the 2016 edition. As you can see, our overall fastest car was the fitted edition with a 240.3. Little room for variance, but I think I set the very fastest laps in that car. That's a number of different things. The car's easy to control, it drives good, so it sets the fastest lap. In second, we've got the other 2021 edition Civic Type R. It does a 242. We got to give a little bit to my driving abilities. I think that car is probably 3-4 tenths faster than what I have there, easy. And so I think that maybe a 241.5 is a little more reasonable number to put there. And so it's still over a second slower than what the fitted is, but it's within margin of error. I think that it's definitely a good car. If you don't have the fitted but you have the regular Civic, just set the tune on there, go zoom, it'll be fine. You have no problems. They're close enough. Now, the 2016 is the slowest of the bunch. It ran a 245. I went back to look at the gameplay just to see what's up. I tried a few more times. I think a 244, 243, if you were really cooking and made no mistakes, would be there. But that's about all I'm going to get out of that car with the current abilities that I have on that track, trying to stay consistent within all the vehicles. And so it still is discernibly slower than the other two. So best Civic's going to be the 2021 model Civic Type R. The fitted edition's the one that is the overall king right now out of this testing. But like I say, if you don't have that one because you didn't pre-order, grab the regular one, tune it up. You're going to have a great time. All the cars are good. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but as a final wrap-up, that's how they stack up. I'm happy to show this to you guys. All the rest of you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.